You're watching the K2 News at 5 on Wyoming's Station of the Year for 3 years running.
Good evening, Wyoming. I'm Suzette Shelley.
And I'm Matthew Cedar. Topping our news tonight, controversy after the FBI recommended not to pursue charges against Hillary Clinton.
The FBI's director stood before Congress today to face questions and even a little scrutiny. Isaiah Cooper, a 16-year-old pilot, is traveling the country hoping to break a world record. But his journey is coming to a halt after his plane crash landed near Central High School. KKTQ's Kristen Casper has more on this developing story.
A 16-year-old California pilot is uninjured after crashing his plane near Central High School in Cheyenne.
Capital City, a motorcycle safety awareness event went on to promote safe driving and awareness for motorcyclists on Wyoming roadways. KKTQ's Mitchell Bean has the story.
Wyoming highways, potentially dangerous to drivers, especially those traveling on two wheels. An event held in the capital city regarding safe driving practices. The main topic of discussion, motorcycle safety awareness.
We've got to teach it, we've got to promote it, and we've got to exercise it.
24 people dying in Wyoming from fatal crashes in 2015, ranking as the third highest fatality year in the last 20 years, according to the Wyoming Department of Transportation. And with 6 deaths as of June 29th of this year, awareness on the road is top priority.
Everybody driving away from the event today is probably thinking, I need to look for motorcyclists, or I need to be a bit more careful. It's real. Fatalities happen.
While driving on Wyoming highways can be potentially dangerous to drivers of any vehicle, those on motorcycles face an even higher risk.
If we are involved in a crash, we're the ones that usually lose. It doesn't matter if we're right or wrong.
Even though there's no state law requiring drivers to wear helmets while on their bikes, it's highly recommended to do so.
Well, not a law. We encourage everybody to wear a helmet, and certainly that's what I do when I ride. Is I want a helmet because in the event something happens, you know you're much better protected with a helmet.
The event featured guest speakers including Governor Meade, the Wyoming Department of Transportation, Wyoming Highway Patrol, and the Cheyenne Police Department, all preaching motorcycle safety and awareness, which is necessary for all bikers who want to drive to arrive alive. This is Mitchell Bean reporting for KKTQ, Cheyenne.
Staying down in the capital city, veterans had a chance to fly back in time this morning. Thanks to the Ageless Aviation Program, local vets had a chance to fly a 1942 Stearman 2-seat biplane, the same aircraft used for training in World War II. Ageless Aviation had been operating since 2011, and they pilot veterans from across the country.
It's a big day, and it's exhausting, and you can see it's physically exhausting to get in there, but I tell you, they want in that plane.
And one thing that Casper can look forward to this winter is the new, much larger Family YMCA. The first building was constructed